Many of us are trapped in a prison. A prison made not of steel and concrete, but of the mind and of the flesh and of this world. Many of us are trapped, only able to see the things of this illusion, this mirage, this hallucination we call life. And we enclose ourselves in this prison. In fact, we fortify the bars of ourselves. We're led into these traps by the demons that inhabit this land, the psychic vampires, the negative influencers that you often hear me speak about, those that want to perch on your shoulder and whisper evil in your ears and persuade you and influence you into decadence and depravity, into defilement and debasement for their own pleasure. Because misery loves company, they love nothing more than to see you slowly destroy yourselves for their pleasure. Misery loves company, I often say. And so the corruptors, the deceivers, the misleaders, they revel, they celebrate as you wallow in despair, frustration, anxiety, and depression, lost in a prison of our own making. So the evil ones of this world, they lure us into the prison. They lure us into the prison of the flesh, the prison of the mind, the prison of this world, the prison of this hallucination, with temptation, with desire, with lust. We are seduced into the ways of the flesh, into wanton decadence, into frenzied, orgiastic defilement and debasement of our minds, of our flesh, of our souls, by poisoning and toxifying ourselves with the drugs, alcohol, pornography that the purveyors of evil would have us consume, such that we become addicted to these things and such that we need them. We bind and yoke and chain ourselves to these blasphemous monsters that want to oppress us with their temptation, such that we lust after these things and trap ourselves in a prison of the flesh, such that we see no way out from these addictions, from this decadence, from this defilement, from this depravity. And the bars that imprison our soul, imprison our minds, we feed those bars. We nourish those bars. Those bars become stronger and stronger and stronger the more we feed into these addictions, the more we feed into our lusts, the more we feed into our temptation, the more we feed into our worldly desires. And we feel like there's no way out, and this is why so many people are left bereft and longing and hungering and thirsting for something of which they know not, of what it is they truly cannot fathom, because everything they immerse themselves in this world, again, led astray, led into this trap by the demons, the evil ones, the demonic whisperers of this world, the persuaders. Everything that they promise us turns out to be a lie, because every promise of the flesh is a lie. The Lord of lies the father of lies, the father of filth, Hashatan himself, runs this world, orchestrates this hallucination, dominates this mirage, such that we see an oasis. They promise us an oasis filled with beautiful, sparkling blue water, which looks like liquid gold to the man that is dying of thirst. And only do you find out once you start drowning yourself in it, because it looks so tasty, it looks so wet, it looks so inviting. As you immerse yourself and you swallow this, what looks like beautiful, blue, crisp, cleansing water, you only find that you're choking on sand. That is what the father of filth, Hashatan himself, fools us into this trap, into this prison. And the more we buy into those lusts, those temptations, those desires, that decadence, depravity, defilement, debasement, the drugs, the alcohol, the pornography, the cheap thrills, the cheap highs, the cheap titillation, the stronger those bars become. But here's the thing. The demons, the psychic vampires that bleed you dry for their own pleasure, that lure you into this prison of the mind, this prison of the soul, this prison for which there looks like there's no escape, that you're ever bereft, you're ever wallowing, you're ever longing, hungering, thirsting, hopeless, frustrated, anxious, don't know any way out. The more of their pills that you swallow, the more of their lies that you believe in, the more of the temptations that they dole out to you, that you chase after, the more lost you become, always wondering, when does it end? Where's the escape? What is your meaning? What is your purpose? What is the answer? The stronger the bars become. But it turns out that those ugly, horrifying, terrible phantasms that led you into this prison are not the guards. They're not the ones keeping you there. You are. We are. They lure us into this trap. We build this prison. We strengthen the bars. We strengthen the walls. We trap ourselves there. But we alone are the guards. As crazy as that sounds, although they lure us in, we are the only ones stopping us from leaving, because we become comfortable. That's saying the devil you know. You become comfortable with the devil. Why do you think they call it the devil you know? You become comfortable in your depravity. You become comfortable in your decadence. You become comfortable in your defilement, in your debasement. Such that you're scared. You're frightened. You're worried to leave it for the great unknown. And it seems like there's nothing that can set you free from this vicious cycle, this endless hamster wheel, this endless treadmill, this trap that the demons have caught you up in and that your own mind has entrapped you in. You get to a place where you'll never leave because you become jaded, because you become bitter, and because your heart becomes hardened, because you not only see yourself trapped in this prison, but you see everyone else trapped in this prison. You see everyone else longing, hungering, thirsting, everyone pretending, everyone Everyone succumbing to this mirage and pretending like this is life. And you see everyone suffering. You see everyone, when you live long enough and you become jaded enough and you become filled with sarcasm and bile and bitterness, you see all the lies for what it is. You just don't know how to leave it all behind. And your pride stops you from getting on your knees and admitting what you knew all along. What your conscience has been telling you all along. What your heart has been begging you to do all along. Because every way along this path into your prison, every single day spent behind those bars, your heart showed you, your soul showed you the way out. Your conscience rang out to you, Yahuwah, Yahusha, that lives within you. Your maker, your creator, the supreme Elohim, the Most High, was beckoning you to come to Him, to come home, to accept your birthright, your redemption, your salvation, your deliverance from the prison that the evil ones lured you into and that you keep yourselves trapped within. Because your pride keeps you from admitting there's a higher power. Your pride keeps you from admitting what you know to be true, that Yahuwah, Yahusha loves you, that He lives within your heart. But your heart has become hard, cold, bitter. You're sanctimonious, you're jaded, you're selfish. You hate yourself and you hate all those around you. But you pretend. You pretend. You go along to get along. You see everyone else trapped in this prison. Once in a while, you see someone full of life, full of love, full of happiness, full of joy, full of encouragement, full of motivation, full of inspiration. But you doubt them. You think they're full of it. You think they're putting on an act. You think it's all show, and why wouldn't you? Because most of these holy men, most of these wise ones, most of those who speak of Yahuwah, Yahusha, are trying to bind you to them, to yoke you to them, to chain you to them, so you'll follow them, so that you'll allow these false prophets to lead you around by the nose, such that you need them for their instructions, for their blueprints, for their interpretation, for their absolution, for their guidance and direction. You need no one. That is their lie. You need no one. You need no father, no priest, no magi, no illusionist, no yogi, no wise man, no holy one. You need none of these lying Pharisees, lying scribes, none of these hypocrites. Because Yahuwah, Yahusha gave you the commandments. Yahuwah, Yahusha has revealed Himself to you. He lives in here. You just, up until now, have ignored Him, turned a deaf ear, turned a blind eye, and rejected. As generations have over and over and over and over again, no matter how many covenants, no matter how many chances He gave us. The covenant with Adam, the covenant with Noah, the covenant with Abraham, the covenant with Moses, the covenant with Yahuwah, Yahusha, Yahuwah manifested in the flesh. The Most High who breathes life, the Most High who creates, the Most High who brings into existence the meaning of the name, manifests in the flesh, the Word that was there in the beginning. It began with the Word. The Word was there in the beginning, and the Word was with Yahuwah the Most High, and the Word was Yahuwah the Most High, and the Word was made flesh, and Yahuwah manifested in the flesh as Yahusha, the meaning of the name, Yah the Most High who delivers, Yah the Most High who saves, Yah the Most High who redeems. They're all along inside here just waiting, hand ever outstretched to pull you out of the muck and the mire and lift you out of your prison. Break, smash, obliterate, dissolve the walls and the bars that we've created, that we've fashioned, that we've strengthened over the years until we've come to this place. But your pride in admitting that all it takes is for you to believe. And you sit there and you ration and you cogitate in your logic that there's no such thing. There can't be. Doesn't make sense. 2 + 2 = 4. Only what I see is what I know and understand. And, if it does, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when it's proven to me. But you know it to be true. But your pride doesn't allow you. Your pride doesn't allow you to bow down before Yahuwah, Yahusha, to accept Him as your Lord and Savior, to admit you're a child of Yahuwah. And deep inside your heart, you want to be good, you want to be innocent, you want to be pure, you want to be loved, you want to be righteous, you want to be healed. But you feel somehow that to admit all this, admit what your heart knows, admit what your conscience is telling you, is a form of weakness. And we've been taught to believe this by the evil ones of this world, just to survive. It's ever since the time of Cain crushing Abel's skull, Yahuwah casting him out for his evil ways and telling Cain, that's it, the land will no longer yield its fruits to you. You will now roam this earth, surviving only by the sweat of your brow, such that we then had a choice. We had a choice to continue to love Yahuwah, to continue to obey Yahuwah, to take His covenants, or to be jaded and bitter like Cain and all of his generation, such that from that moment on we clawed, scratched, conquered, dominated our fellow man, so that if the land wouldn't yield its fruits, then the flesh would yield its fruits. And so we lived of the flesh and for the flesh in all of its decadence and depravity, defilement and debasement, such that we would chase nothing but pleasure from here on out. Hedonism, gluttony, because no longer in our anger, in our hatred for our circumstances, would we bow down before the Most High. No longer would we show fealty to the Most High. No longer would we honor and revere the Most High because of our evil, sinful, jaded, bitter hatefulness. And that vulnerability allows Hashatan, Satan, Lucifer, the Lord of lies, the Lord of filth, to take a hold of you and to lead you further down that path, to tempt you, to lure you away from all that we once knew. The love, the joy, the healing of Yahuwah. And there's always been a way back since He manifested in the flesh as Yahusha and offered us the way, the truth, and the life. The word, should we only confess that He came in the flesh, that Yahusha is the Hamashiach, the Messiah. Should we only have faith, then all good things will spring. We will be saved, we will be redeemed, we will be brought home, and we will have everlasting life and understand the word, understand the one true commandment that saves us, the one true commandment that all good things spring from, the one true commandment that allows us to understand all things, such that all things are revealed, all things are received, all things are interpreted without the wise ones, without the holy men, without the magi, without the yogai, without the mentors, without the priests, without the rabbis, only through the Ruach, the breath of Yahuwah that fills us. Do we understand the commandment? Are we guided on the commandment? And do we know all things, all revelations, all epiphanies? Here, whole freedom from the trap, from the prison of our own making that we were lured into by Hashatan. Now finally we can break free through the single commandment from the word. Love Yahuwah with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength. And love our fellow man as we love ourselves, and we are set free instantly. We are saved. We're redeemed, we're delivered out of this prison and into the real, the most beautiful, wonderful life there is, the everlasting life of the kingdom to come. And as we live, although in this world, not of this world, we finally are filled with the light of Yahuwah, Yahusha, the light that obliterates and dissolves all darkness, because he is the light of this world, such that the darkness that we've stumbled around in this prison our entire lives cannot fathom it, cannot understand it, and cannot comprehend it, and certainly cannot overcome it, such that the light of Yahuwah, Yahusha, dissolves it all, destroys it all, and comforts us, warms us, shines down on us, lives within us, bursts forth from us, heals us from the inside, bursts forth from us like an infinite number of rays, such that all those who are yet to be found, who are lost, who are feeling the hopelessness and the frustration and the anxiety and the despair and the depression and the sorrow and the hatefulness, addicted, trapped in those prisons, wallowing around, chasing, hungering, longing, thirsting, seeking, searching, absolutely bereft, decadent, defiled, debased, knowing that they see us with this life, this encouragement, this inspiration, filled with the Ruach bursting forth from us. To them it is like a beacon. It's why we live as an example for our people, such that we love our fellow man as we love ourselves. That means we do not preach down to them, we do not admonish them, we do not hurl holy fire and brimstone at them, we do not put ourselves on a pedestal over them and hold ourselves out there as their Lord, as their Savior, as their directors, as their guides. No, we are not. There's only one gateway to the Father, and that is the Son, Yahuwah, Yahusha, Hamashiach, the Messiah. And they see that light bursting forth from us, and it acts as a beacon, as a lighthouse to all those ships lost at sea, to know that if we can come from this place, this prison, this trap that we've been held in for our entire lives, if we can break free from it, if it can be dissolved in an instant by receiving Yahuwah, Yahusha, then they know they too can be saved. And this beautiful light that shines its way to the real, not only shines down on us and warms us and comforts us, and not only lives within us by the breath of Yahuwah, the set-apart spirit, the Ruach, filling us with his light, healing us from the inside, and bursting out as a beacon for all, as we live as an example, such that they see us and they know there's a way out. But it also illuminates, it shines on, it emblazons the narrow path that leads to the kingdom to come. And while we're on this narrow path, we experience the peace, the solace, the joy, the healing, the love of Yahuwah, Yahusha. And we know that we are on the path, guided by the Ruach, to the narrow gates, the narrow path emblazoned now, impossible not to see, bright and brilliant. We know our way, we know the path, and we walk it true and strong to that narrow gate that leads us into the kingdom to come, where Yahuwah, Yahusha lives amongst us once again, and where there is no more darkness and depravity and defilement and debasement. There is no more evil or sin, sadness or hatred, war or misery. There is no more murder or death, sickness or disease. There is no more Hashatan, Satan, Lucifer, or demons of this world. No more evil whisperers, psychic vampires, negative influencers, corruptors, detractors, haters. They're all crushed beneath the feet of Yahuwah, Yahusha, where he lives amongst us once again. And there's only everlasting peace, everlasting healing, everlasting joy, everlasting love, everlasting life. And where we can love him with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength. Where we can love him, honor him, glorify him, praise him, and worship him with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength in a manner that pleases him most, because we are made once again perfect, as we were in Eden, before being cast out, before the wretched generations of Cain destroyed and defiled this earth and allowed Hashatan, the Lord of the flies, the Lord of filth, the Lord of lies, to reign over us on this planet. We are perfect once again like we were in Eden. perfect once again like the angels, perfect in the eyes of Yahuwah Yahusha, such that we can revere him and live an everlasting life in a manner that pleases him most. For now we simply pray for guidance. We surrender completely to him, because we've tried it our way, and all it's done is keep us in this prison. And in being set free, truly, truly, truly free for the first time in our lives, to see the beauty, not the darkness of the prison, not the darkness of our mind, not the darkness of the flesh, but the beauty, the love, the healing and joy behind this mirage, what I call the real. To know his salvation, to know his redemption, to know his grace, his glory, his strength, his power, his love, his healing, to know that this path exists to the narrow gates to the kingdom to come, and to feel the strength to be able to walk it, to feel the determination to be able to walk it, the discipline, the resolve to be able to walk it, not of no human feeling, emotion, passion, none of it can even come close. It's a grain of sand on a beach of all the beaches of the world compared to the strength of the armor of Yahuwah that we can wear as we walk this narrow path. He gives us the Spirit. He gives us the resolve. He gives us the determination. He gives us the discipline. He gives us the self-control by flooding us with his breath, the Ruach, the set-apart spirit that lives in us and allows us to stay strong and true and wear that armor, because the armor of Yahuwah that we wear is faith in Yahuwah. We wear the helmet of salvation and we wield the Ruach, the breath of Yahuwah, as a sword. As a sword. His light beaming out from us like a force field. A clarion call. A bright light of salvation. A beautiful beacon of hope for all those who are lost, while at the same time a force field of fire, a force field of intense light, a force field of pure Yahuwah power and energy that dissolves and obliterates and destroys all haters, detractors, evil whisperers, psychic vampires in our path as we stay on this narrow road, emblazoned and illuminated as it is, a narrow road, such that we cannot be persuaded, we cannot be influenced away, we cannot be knocked off the path. In wearing this armor, we are impervious, impregnable, impenetrable to the daggers, arrows, slings, and spears of the evil whisperers of this world. We can walk this path true and strong, because now that we've been set free, now that we know his glory, now that we know his grace, we are like a juggernaut, a locomotive, a freight train, speeding with strength in love and healing. Unstoppable, unconquerable, unassailable, undefeatable, undeniable, as we head to the kingdom to come. Freedom